Welcome to Marvelicious Toys, hosted by Justin and his amazing friends, Arnie and Marjorie. We bring you news and reviews of Marvel toys, statues, and more, because not all Marvel collections can be bagged and boarded. They're not just toys, they're Marvelicious.
The latest Kotobukiya Bishoujo statue is shipping, and we have her in the studio to review. Now, this is Psylocke. They are once again redoing a figure they've done before, but this time she's in her black X-Force outfit. And this is in the larger scale. They're once again revisiting doing the larger scale, but as we talked about before, they then reduce the height because she is in a cool kneeling pose with her leg extended and then her sword held up high above her head.
Yeah, she's kind of Crouching Tiger and Hidden Dragon all in one pose here. Now, depending on which angle you're looking at her from, she could be an inappropriate statue.
Well, aren't all the Bishoujos just about inappropriate?
No, look at Kitty Pride. I dare you to find an inappropriate thing on Kitty Pride.
I must say that she is a really good bikini waxer.
Well, that's because she's a statue.
Yes. She's beautiful in the face. Absolutely stunning.
They gave her a nice pointed chin that's very unique. You know, looking at my other Bishoujos here, not all of them have like that pointed chin, and that could get very witchy really quick, but it doesn't in her case.
Yeah, and she has like, you know, the Bishoujo little bit bigger, more anime style eyes, but not overly so. You know, it doesn't scream anime, but it's definitely more stylized than just a straight up human representation.
Yeah. I also love her hair. They did a phenomenal job on the hair. Again, even with the piece flying up, I think it looks really good.
Yeah, the piece flying up, once I thought of Alfalfa from the Little Rascals, I just couldn't get past it with that piece flying up. But they did do the translucent end of the hair thing like they've done on so many of the others that just works so well. And it kind of goes to a purplish gray, which works really well by evoking that classic purplish blue Psylocke outfit.
Yeah, that's a great point. With her not being in her classic colors for her outfit, bringing that color into her hair kind of brings that back into the character a little bit.
And you know what else they did? If you look at her outfit, let's move on to her legs. She's got some kick-ass legs, but what they did is they made it very realistic with the ties and made them a little bit tighter than her skin, so it's a little bit of a pressure on her skin. And that would be normal, no matter what size your legs are. If you wrap them like that, you would have that.
Yeah, the little bit of plumping going on around the stress areas.
It plumps when you cook them.
And you know what? Nice little touch. Did you notice her fingernails were pink?
I did notice that. They painted the fingernails there. You know, you're talking about the realism. One of the things that got me is if you look at the upraised arm, under her arm, they sculpted musculature.
They did.
And they did to her back shoulder as well. I think, truthfully, Kotobukiya has upped their game on Bishoujo sculpting by adding that musculature, and they also did it in the thigh region. There's some muscle and bone down there that really adds a human correctness to it where it feels a little less plasticky in that way.
Yeah, it's like you can see her tendon in her inner thigh there. It's incredible. I mean, without sounding dirty, I mean, I'm agreeing with you that it's that, and even her arm that's planted on the ground is an impressive way of doing that. Like, the armpit hits the boob in just the right area without looking like it's squishing the boob and pushing it out.
And if you're going to talk about the boobs, I have to say they don't look like big beach balls the way some of the previous Kotobukiya ones have. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, but look what they did as far as her outfit there. It's got a very natural wrinkle and draping.
Yeah, and it's got almost like a natural, like, plasticky vinyl feel to the outfit without overdoing it.
It looks very vinyl-y, you're right, yeah. And what do you guys think about the base? I see it's a very Asian-influenced base.
Which makes sense as she's a ninja.
Yeah, it's cool. It's almost Kill Bill in style.
It is not as basic as some of them have been, but also not as ornate either. Like, when I think about some of the nicest ones, I think of the recent Black Widow they did where she had the brick wall and everything, and that really had a bit of a heft to it. This one, it's very plasticky when you're touching it, but it has a good look to it. I love the paint that they've given it, and that little Asian design stone
rock garden type of thing.
Yeah. It kind of looks like the Green Lantern's ring.
I can see that.
But It's a nice touch. I mean, it's just enough, keeping in mind this is what I'd call a middle-end collectible. It's not high-end, it's around the $60 price point, so you're not paying premium format prices, but it's more than a toy, and they've put the design where it needs to be, which is on the figure, while giving it a visually interesting diorama feel. The only thing that is just really, really artistic to me, in that is not human, is it's like she got stretched through the taffy machine. If she were standing straight up, she'd be 3/4 leg.
She does have really, really long legs. And unnaturally long shins as well.
I am using just the finger test where you put your thumb and index finger.
I bet you are.
And she is the same from head to crotch as from knee to toe.
Yeah, she has some really, really long legs.
And they also gave her a weird toe in the boot.
Ooh, it's like boot camel toe.
Yeah, I didn't want to use the term camel toe, but it's definitely cloven. I mean, we're talking about the feet here, so... But I do like how her leg extends off the base, so she doesn't feel as confined. It feels like she's breaking out of her diorama. It means a little more space to display, but it adds so much action and dynamic.
Isn't that a ninja thing, having that space between your big toe and the rest of your toes so you could wear your sandals until it's time to fight?
It very well may be. I don't think they would do this otherwise, but I have not seen it before.
Koto doesn't do anything by accident. There's so much meaning in each piece, and they are so good about telling you about all of it.
Yeah, I'm definitely not all in on Bishoujo, but this is one that I'm really considering picking up.
Yeah, I was a little bit, when they first started talking about her, I was like, oh, they're doing the X-Force outfit. I like her in the classic bluish purple, but this is really well done. And if they did a variant in the classic colors, I would certainly be getting it as well. I love that they put the little X-Force X on her belt there, and the way the belt kind of flows up. And I'll say I've knocked that belt a few times when unpacking it and everything. It's flexible enough that it's not going to snap off. It kind of has the feeling of a, like a twist tie from a loaf of bread, but it also isn't going to reform that easily. It's going to just snap back in place.
Nice.
Her sword did ship separately, and you slip it into her hand so you can choose exactly how much you want of the hilt to show. And I love that they even carved a detail into the hilt of her sword and then painted it.
They do amazing work at Koto.
Yeah, even have a little bit of rope going on the sheath.
Yeah, that's a real nice touch that I didn't even notice at first. Now, there's only one thing I noticed, and that's because I was taking photos of her. On both of her hands, there's just a little bit of sloppy paint, like some of the black when they were painting the outfit got onto her hands. And I don't know if I just got a bad sample here or bad one, and if I find another one, when we go to Toy Fair, I'm going to look at the one they have on display. But the sword hand has one small speck, and the hand on the ground, it looks like a kind of sloppy paint job on that. That is the only place, though, that I can see it. It's just on both hands. It's not anywhere else.
You probably would not have noticed had you not been taking pictures.
Correct. I had a macro lens out, and then all of a sudden went, oh, now I can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how I feel about it not being overly Marvel-y. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing that really tells somebody that this is a Marvel character, like you said, is the little X-Force logo on her belt buckle. But part of me thinks that's really cool. That it's like, hey, if you know who Psylocke is, then yeah, you'll recognize her. But if you don't, it's just a cool-looking ninja chick.
Well, she's obviously popular enough to be in the Bishoujo line twice. And so, while I kind of agree with you, if you come in and you see Spider-Man, you instantly know who it is. Or if you take somebody like Rogue or Psylocke, you've got to be a little bit more into the universe to know who they are. But if you know who Psylocke is, I mean, she's still got the leg wraps and everything. If you look at her Marvel Now outfit, she's dressed totally differently and far more modestly. And then you might be like, who is that? But because this is the same outfit, just in a different color, I mean, I'm looking at the other statue here. The leg wraps have even a similar pattern of how many are on each leg. So it's just a matter of familiarity with this character. I don't think if you don't know the characters that a lot of people would go out and buy that one, which is why they're doing these and not, Dazzler Bishoujo or...
So all in all, would you say this new scale makes it harder to want to continue collecting these, or do you think it's a non-issue?
Well, this is the scale that got me in. I skipped on the smaller scale.
Okay.
It was when they went to the larger scale and they started doing more detailed bases, and they kept the price point about the same, but they were able to put so much more into these figures. I did go back and backfill, and some of those phoenixes, oh my god, were they expensive. But I've been collecting this scale since I started getting them, and so I am glad that they've updated. By the same token, I'm really looking forward to what's coming up in the Bishoujo line with this really cool Jubilee that we've talked about before with the popcorn and the bag, the duffel bag and the jean shorts, and then of course Spider-Woman.
The weird crouching Spider-Woman.
I think she looks much better and much less weird painted, but we will do a review on her in person when she comes out.
And some macro photography.
Of course, I'm really, really looking forward to it's almost the exact same scale. There are Artifacts Plus statues that are coming out of the Avengers on the Adi Granov art. Those are shipping real soon, starting with the Hulk, and the Hawkeye just went up for pre-order.
Yeah, those have been fun to watch as they go from concept to unpainted prototypes to finished goods.
Yeah, I'm hoping we may get to see the entire Avengers line assembled at Toy Fair.